Let's talk about card skimming, how criminals are able to capture your credit card data and use it for financial gain. Skimming has been around for over 30 years and has evolved significantly. It first became a problem in the restaurant industry, where workers would take your card to the back and run it through a magnetic strip reader, also known as an MSR. These devices allow scammers to read and write the data stored on the magnetic strip of your card and store that information on a computer within seconds. As skimming evolved, it moved from restaurants to retail stores, specifically targeting point-of-sale terminals. Hackers even began infiltrating major card processors like Visa and MasterCard, stealing millions of card details directly from their databases instead of going after individuals one by one, as small-time scammers do. Around 2008 to 2009, card skimming at retailers was rampant, but after significant financial losses, credit card processors began implementing security measures to combat these hacks. As a result, skimming migrated to gas pumps and ATMs, where it's still common today. The game changed even more in 2015, when the market transitioned to using EMV chips in credit and debit cards. This shift moved the liability for fraud from the banks to the retailers and merchants. So if a retailer isn't using EMV chip technology, they can be held liable for any fraud instead of the banks. The EMV chip has been effective in reducing fraud. Studies show fraud at retailers dropped by over 80% between 2017 and 2018, but of course, criminals adapted. One of the ways scammers have evolved is by creating shimmers, a more advanced form of skimmers. Shimmers can extract data even from EMV chips. So while the chip technology helps, it's not foolproof. And let's not forget, retailers don't want to lose sales. If a chip reader isn't working, they'll often ask customers to swipe their card, which exposes the unencrypted data on the magnetic strip. That's where criminals take advantage. If they can't extract data from the EMV chip, they'll disable the chip reader or tap-to-pay feature by injecting malware into the point-of-sale terminal. This forces the retailer to ask the customer to swipe their card, allowing the scammer to capture the card data from the magnetic strip. It's important to understand that the magnetic strip on your card isn't encrypted. It's basically sitting there in the open, waiting to be read by any magnetic strip reader. This makes cards without EMV chips, such as EBT cards for food assistance, particularly vulnerable. Criminals know the schedules for when EBT cards get reloaded each month, so they install shimmers into ATMs in high-traffic areas, especially in low-income neighborhoods. These shimmers are virtually undetectable and can be installed in less than 30 seconds. Over the weekend, they can capture the card data, and once the cards are reloaded, they'll have people ready to cash out instantly. The people involved in these operations are highly organized. There's a whole network. One group makes the skimmers and shimmers, another group, called runners, goes out to install the devices in ATMs, gas pumps, and point-of-sale terminals. And then there are money mules, who withdraw the stolen funds. On the high end, these operations can make hundreds of millions of dollars each year. Even small-time scammers, just focusing on one city or neighborhood, can make six figures by skimming cards. A well-placed shimmer in a high-traffic area can pull in anywhere from $15,000 to $30,000 over a weekend. It's a lucrative criminal operation that shows no signs of slowing down. So, what can you do to protect yourself at ATMs, gas stations, or retail stores? For me, I stay old school. I still go to the bank and see a teller to withdraw cash, and I've never had my information stolen. I don't even own a debit card, which I highly recommend. Here's why. If someone steals your debit card information, they can wipe out your checking account, taking your actual money. But if someone gets a hold of your credit card information, they're stealing from the credit company, Visa or MasterCard, not from you. In that case, it's Visa's problem, not yours, and they'll take the hit. That's why I always advise people to cut up their debit cards. Carrying a credit card also has other advantages. Not only can you earn points and cash back, but if your credit card info gets stolen, your own money isn't at risk. On the other hand, if your debit card gets hacked, you could be left with no money in your bank account due to fraudulent transactions. In short, debit cards are a direct link to your personal money, and using one is a bad idea. Sooner or later, most people who use a debit card will live to regret it. My advice is to always use a credit card for transactions and monitor your accounts regularly. I check mine every morning to make sure there are no suspicious transactions. Let's face it, no matter what we do, criminals are always going to find new ways to scam people. You can arrest one, and 100 more will pop up. The best thing you can do is stay vigilant and be proactive in protecting your personal information. And before I wrap this up, let me leave you with one more important thought. We all want to find the easiest path to success, but there's no magical shortcut to financial stability. If you're always looking for cheat codes and quick tips, you're missing the point. Abraham Lincoln once said, "If I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 sharpening my axe." In other words, it's time to focus on sharpening yourself, your skills, your discipline, your knowledge. That's what will lead to real success. You've got to be willing to put in the work and invest in yourself, whether it's learning how to protect your finances or building a business. There are no shortcuts.